Welcome, dear children, to the next topic of chapter gravitation, that is energy of an orbiting satellite. We know when a satellite revolves around Earth, that satellite it is in motion, so it will be having kinetic energy, and due to its position in the gravitational field, that object, that satellite will be having potential energy also. So total energy of the satellite means the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. So if we consider a satellite which is revolving around Earth in a circular orbit with a speed v, its kinetic energy is given by half mv square. Now we know the expression for orbital velocity. From previous days discussion, we already obtained the expression for orbital velocity. So substituting the expression for orbital velocity, we get kinetic energy as gmm by 2 into r plus h. Now the potential energy we know how to write, that is minus gmm by r plus h. Now total energy is the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. So adding both and simplifying, we have the total energy as minus gmm by 2 into r plus h. So total energy of the satellite, it is negative. So that negative sign shows that it is bound to Earth. That means that satellite is bound to Earth. It is a bound system. That is the meaning of negative sign. Once again, we will just compare the values of kinetic energy, potential energy and total energy. We know kinetic energy, it is positive and its value is gmm by 2 into r plus h. And total energy we have minus gmm by 2 into r plus h. So the magnitude of total energy is the same as kinetic energy of the satellite. Kinetic energy will never be negative, that we know, because moving objects will have kinetic energy which has to be positive. So kinetic energy will always be positive. So the kinetic energy, the magnitude of total energy will be equal to kinetic energy. So that is a point to be noted, magnitude of total energy. So if you know the total energy, the magnitude of total energy will be equal to kinetic energy. That is one point to note. Now another relation, look at the potential energy term. The potential energy is minus gmm by r plus h and total energy is minus gmm by 2 into r plus h. So you know both are negative, both potential energy and total energy are negative, and you know potential energy is twice the total energy. So that relation exists between total energy and potential energy. So we can write total energy, it is half of potential energy. That way also you can write. Okay, total energy, it is equal to half of potential energy, or potential energy is twice the total energy. So these two relations you have to note, because if one energy is given, the other two energies you can write easily using these relations. So once again, kinetic energy is the magnitude of total energy and total energy is half of the potential energy. Anyway, total energy is negative, which means that the satellite is bound to Earth. Now we will discuss two types of satellites called geostationary satellites and polar satellites. Geostationary satellites are also called as geosynchronous satellites, and these satellites, they revolve around Earth in equatorial plane. You know, Earth shape is of geoid. It is bulged at the equator and flattened at the poles, you know. So equatorial radius, we already discussed this point in one of the discussions. Equatorial radius, it is more than the polar radius we know. So the satellites which take equatorial plane, their orbital height will be more than that of polar satellites, that is there. So the satellites which revolve around Earth in equatorial plane in such a way that it is asynchronous with Earth. Means it is stationary with respect to Earth. With respect to Earth, those satellites, they seem to be stationary. Such satellites are called as geostationary satellites. So, what is peculiarity about this geostationary satellite? The time period of revolution of the geostationary satellite will be equal to time period of rotation of Earth. You know, Earth is having two types of motion, that is, it is revolving around Sun, at the same time it is rotating about its own axis. Now, for the rotation, its time period is 24 hours. So, if you have an equatorial satellite with time period equal to the time period of rotation of Earth, that particular satellite will appear to be stationary with respect to Earth. That means its position with respect to Earth will be same. Such satellites are called as geostationary satellites or geosynchronous satellites. So that is the main peculiarity of this type of satellites. They appear stationary with respect to Earth. And one more point is there, that is direction of motion of the satellite is the same as that of the direction of rotation of Earth. That means from west to east. Then only that synchronous, that will be in synchronous with the other one. So direction of motion of the satellite, it is the same as the direction, the sense of rotation of Earth, that is from west to east. And when we calculate the height of such a geostationary satellite's orbit, we get it to be 36,000 kilometers. So it is at a high distance from the surface of Earth. So equatorial satellites, they are revolving in orbits which are at far distance from the center of Earth. These satellites, they are mainly used for communication. You know, the GPS system, all the GPS systems, they may mainly function with the help of geostationary satellite. You know, the most effective first GPS system was introduced by USA, that is NASA introduced the first GPS system for their spy works and all. And that GPS system used 24 geostationary satellites. Nowadays, 3 years back only, India had its own GPS system, global positioning system, with very less number of geostationary satellites, with 7 geostationary satellites which India has its own GPS system. Geostationary satellites are not only used for communication purpose, they are also used for weather forecasting. And the whole GPS system, it is based on this geostationary satellites. In polar satellites, the second type of satellites, it is polar satellites. So as the word suggests, they revolve around Earth in polar orbits. That means which go around the polar region. So the height of those particular satellites, polar satellites, will be very less compared to geostationary satellites. Geostationary satellites, their height we understood 36,000 kilometers approximately it is. And for polar satellites, their height turn out to be 500 to 800 kilometers. And they go around the poles of Earth in north-south direction. The other one, it was in west to east direction. And its time period is around 100 minutes. That means it crosses any altitude many times a day. So this is more effective in weather forecasting and in the studies of environment, and also for spy work. And they are also used for remote sensing, meteorology, as well as for environmental studies on the surface of Earth. So these are the differences between the polar satellites and geostationary satellites. Now coming to the last topic of the chapter, weightlessness. When do an object experience weightlessness? You know, a freely falling object experience weightlessness. What do you mean by weightlessness? No weight. This particular situation we have come across in the case of lift. I think you remember when the lift is when the lift mechanism fails, when the rope is broken, that lift falls down as a freely falling object, and we got the apparent weight of an object inside the freely falling lift to be equal to 0. That means that that particular object experiences weightlessness. That is the case with all the freely falling objects. For all the freely falling objects, its acceleration is acceleration due to gravity, and its weight is used to provide acceleration due to gravity. Weight is mg, and that acceleration due to gravity is given by that mg. So the body experiences weightlessness. This we can note or we can verify by connecting an object to a spring balance. To the weight hanger of that spring balance, just attach an object and just drop both the things. So the spring balance and the object falls down simultaneously. So when we observe the needle of the spring balance, you can see that the needle shows 0. So that means it experiences weightlessness. It is because of the fact that the whole weight of the body is used to provide acceleration due to gravity. Similarly, an object inside a satellite also experiences weightlessness because the weight of the satellite as a whole, it is actually the gravitational force between Earth and the satellite. That means gravitational force due to Earth on the satellite that provides the required centripetal force. So the whole centripetal force is provided by utilizing this gravitational force. So those objects also, that means the objects inside the satellites, they experience weightlessness. This you might have seen nowadays. Space tourism has become news, isn't it? So those people, those who are going to the outer space, first of all, they have to undergo special training in zero gravity space. I hope that you have heard about it. Zero gravity. They will undergo certain days training in zero gravity. Then only they will be going, because in the space they have to undergo this situation everywhere. They will not have the weight. They will not experience weight at all. So all the objects inside the artificial satellites or the satellites, they experience weightlessness.